What is this about, even?
What? Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today I've conned Ben into doing a Newlywed tag that I found online because we were married. Yeah, we got married just over a week ago when we're filming this. So we thought it'd be fun to do just one of these like little tag videos. I don't know, something fun for you guys to learn a little bit more about us. And yeah, so if you're interested, just keep watching.
Guys, I just want to let you know I literally have no idea what's going on right now. I just agreed to do a video, so
To be honest,
should be fun.
I found the questions, I screenshot them, and I like didn't even read them, so I'm not even prepared either. So we'll see how this goes. First question: how did your family react when you told them you were getting married? Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
You go first.
They weren't surprised because Ben had asked them, or had asked my dad to like propose. So they were prepared.
Right. So to then follow up with my answer, then it would just be like, yeah, nobody in my family was like that surprised either.
Did you tell them beforehand that you were gonna do it? Because they didn't.
We did, but I remember
both of them.
I remember that I was like, oh, I could like probably tell somebody I'm doing this. Like it was very much so like I was just gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gave them like a little heads up, and there was not much surprise.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Right. It should be a good thing, right?
Yeah. How long had you been dating when you got engaged? How long after you were engaged did you get married? So we had been dating just over a year. So we hit our year mark of actually dating. We had known each other for longer than that. In November, and we got engaged in December.
That's something where like if my younger self had heard that, I would have been like,
yeah, we were like,
oh
you have to date for blah blah blah, and then but like we said, we both were really only getting into relationships if we could see a future with someone, so it was pretty quick.
So then the second part of that is how long after you were engaged did you get married? And that was a year and a half. We knew that we wanted a longer engagement. We weren't in a rush to get married, so to speak, but like we did want to make a commitment to each other. So that was kind of the reason for getting engaged. And yeah, like Jessie being a planner, she didn't want to have like a crunched window to plan a wedding in, and shit got all crazy anyways, but it worked out.
Yeah, I wanted to, for some reason I just wanted a summer wedding, which now I don't really know why I wanted that. Like it would have been fine in the fall or something. So that would have been like a 6-month engagement, which was just too fast in my opinion. And initially we were planning to pay for this big wedding. So we also were giving ourselves some time to save up money for it. And then things got all crazy, and we didn't end up even having that kind of wedding, but it ended up being good that we had that long of an engagement period to like figure out our own stuff and like go through some shit. So yeah, it was about a year and a half. The next question: how many guests did you invite to your wedding? Which of you had more guests at the wedding, you or your spouse? We invited 35 people. Well, we invited like 38, but a couple of people couldn't come. So yeah, we had about 35 people there. And I would say we were pretty even.
Yeah. This is not your typical wedding where it was like, oh, the bride like pushed to have 50 more of her family. Like it wasn't like that. It was, who knows, like to the person, but I mean, it was definitely pretty even.
Yeah, Ben had a couple more family members just because he still has both sets of grandparents, whereas I don't. We only invited immediate family. We are having like a bigger reception later in the summer, but for this immediate ceremony and wedding, we wanted just very close family and very close friends. So he had a few more family members because his immediate family is bigger than mine, and I had maybe a few more friends.
Yeah.
But so it evened out. I would honestly say that it was probably even.
Yeah. And it was amazing.
It was
like
perfect.
it was exactly
Yeah.
what we wanted, and that's not to say that we wouldn't have liked to invite a few more people. Like, you know, it's just hard. Eventually, the line has to be drawn somewhere. There's always more people that we would have liked to have had there, but at the same time, it was just the small, intimate feel that we envisioned and wanted ended up being exactly what was right for us. And so I highly suggest, if you're like thinking about that or like having these small like pulls towards that, definitely listen to that instead of going like the big traditional wedding where you invite all this family where you haven't even seen them for 10 years or
Yeah. What adjective best describes your spouse on your wedding day? For some reason, one that's popping in my head for Ben is not one that I thought would pop in my head, and that is funny. So, Ben is funny. I definitely think I'm funnier, but Ben is very funny. However, I was not anticipating to laugh so much during your vows. Like, I was not ready for that. I thought that
Props to me.
they were like, your vows were bomb. So yeah, I would say funny is what the first word that comes to my head.
I think for Jesse, the word radiant keeps coming to mind, and that is not only physically, like you know, she's beautiful and the dress is beautiful, her hair is beautiful, like all that stuff was great. But there was just like this energy, like I could tell that her, you know, her bridesmaids, my family, her parents, her family, just the people that were there was like they were bringing out the best in her, and I could just like feel her love and happiness, and yeah, so it was cool, and I'm gonna like get teary just talking about it.
Oh god, here we go. What did guests eat at the reception?
Can anybody guess this, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe
So
not
that-
on our channel.
I thought it was so us, and so we had
Qdoba. It was great.
Qdoba catered to the wedding.
Yeah.
And in hindsight,
It was perfect.
best idea ever.
Everybody loved it. Like, everybody was commenting about how much they loved it. And I mean, there's possibility that someone was lying, but I remember specifically my friend Joel just being like, this was like the best idea ever. He was like, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, because I'm just going to pose a question to you.
Okay.
When was the last time you went to a wedding and was like, that food was amazing? I'm so excited we got to eat that food. Guys, nobody likes to pick between a chicken dish and a fish dish. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not fun.
My friend Brooke had really good food at her wedding.
Yeah, I've actually...
Again, it was a very small ceremony.
Well, and yeah, and one of my friend's weddings was a little bit bigger, but he had like a buffet kind of, and he had breakfast food there, and it was amazing, like having breakfast for dinner like that. So, just putting out there, like I think doing something different than the norm is and can be fun, and it totally was a great choice for us. And
that leads into the next question.
I'm waiting to the next question here.
What flavor of cake did you have at the wedding? How many tiers did the cake have? Hold up on the cake.
Hold up. We had Beacon Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
So the donut company that I helped found with my cousin, and it was awesome.
It was
We had
good.
A handful of flavors. We had a blueberry.
Ooh, I'll put up a picture
Yeah.
somewhere over here.
Yeah.
But they looked beautiful. We had all kinds. He put some gluten-free ones aside for me, so that was great. But what were the kinds that we had?
Blueberry pancake, Samoa, lemon poppy seed, old-fashioned, chocolate-covered old-fashioned, and then the gluten-free was like a birthday cake sprinkle one.
Yeah, they're bomb. So good. Super good. So we didn't have tiers of cakes. We had tiers of donuts.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. What is the worst thing that happened on your wedding day and the best thing that happened? This is a funny question. There were literally nothing went wrong. It was a perfect day. There were 2 hiccups that I can think of. And they're actually really funny, and they really only affected me. So I'll tell the story if it's okay. The first one is we were getting ready and there was like a big concert thing happening in the suburb that we were staying in, of course, and we had gotten a really good deal on the hotel, which of course meant so did everyone else. So there were just a lot of like young kids and drugs. Well, I don't know if it was drugs, but like weed, alcohol, things like that. Thankfully, it didn't affect any of us, but it did because as we were getting ready the day of the wedding, the fire alarms went off in the hotel for probably like 5 minutes.
This was when the photographer was at the hotel.
She was like taking
photos for the getting ready portion.
Yeah. So, and I was like in the middle of getting my hair done. I already had all my makeup done. So, we didn't end up leaving. My mom did because she like freaked out. But like the rest of us were like, no. My sister saw the kids smoking weed in the hallway, so she knew that was why the fire alarm was going off. Yeah, so we didn't end up leaving, but it was like a little bit of chaos, a little bit of stress when all you're hearing is like fire alarms going off.
Well, and what was funny for me is like I had just gone up to the room. I was like a couple minutes behind, and so I like hadn't even put on my clothes yet, and I was like, oh shit, like I should probably throw on my clothes just in case. And so I put them on real fast, and we went outside with my dad and my brother. But the funny part was, my immediate thought was like, oh shit, I can't see Jessie in her dress.
Yeah. And I mean, I wasn't in my dress yet, but I didn't even want him to see like me at all.
Yeah.
So that happened, but it ended up not being a big deal. And then the second thing was we were literally lined up to go into the ceremony. Like they were playing the music. The guys were like getting ready to walk. And this guy pulls up in the driveway right behind me and my dad. And he gets out, and I was like, I just like looked at him, and he was like, I have the food, what do I do with it? And I literally was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and I'm usually very kind, but I was like, what in this scenario means that you like get out of the car and talk to the bride? So thankfully we had our friend who was our day of coordinator, which is a big reason we don't have anything else that happened that went badly at our wedding. Nirav was like the bomb. So happy. He was like the best thing that happened to our wedding, honestly. Yeah. But he came around the corner and I was like, Nirav, help. And he like made the guy go away. So those were like the only two things that went wrong that day. Everything was literally perfect. It slightly sprinkled later in the day, but not even enough for anyone to go inside. It was like the perfect weather. So honestly, the best thing that happened was everything else. Like I can't like pick one thing. The music was great. The photography was great. Nirav, who did our wedding planning, was amazing. The girl that did my hair is spectacular. Like
our officiant was great.
Our officiant was amazing. Yeah, our friend Frank did that. Like all of our guests, we got to talk to everyone.
And we had an outdoor
food. Yeah.
So we had an outdoor wedding at the beginning of June. Yeah. The weather in Chicago for the past month has been insane.
Just
like raining. normally like April showers bring May flowers type of thing. It's been raining for like weeks.
For like literally and cold, and it was like 70.
It was like 70, partly cloudy, and no rain besides like the very little sprinkle we had later in the night. Like,
no wind.
It was ridiculously perfect. And keep in mind, Friday and Saturday was great. Saturday was our wedding day. Like the days before that and the day after that. Yeah. Like rain.
Thursday and
cold.
Sunday were awful. Friday was perfect, which we did like a boat tour and stuff with our family. So yeah, they're literally the whole. I mean, there's nothing could have been.
That's what I was gonna say better. Too. Is everything else.
Mm-hmm. The next two I'm gonna just lump together, but who caught the bridal bouquet and who caught the garter? No one. So there was no way in hell that I was throwing my bridal bouquet of peonies to anyone. I held on to that all night, and if I wasn't holding on to it, it was in a vase. And then we didn't do a garter as well. I personally think that is, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's totally not my style. It makes me really uncomfortable. I would not want to sit in front of all of my friends and family and have his head up my skirt. Like, first of all, I was sweating like crazy. My friend had to help me pee, and it was disgusting. So like, I didn't want anybody up in there, and that's just like not my jam. But yeah, so just neither of those things are our style, so we didn't do them. We didn't do a lot of your typical things. Like, our officiant was a friend of ours who got officiated. Whatever, ordained on the internet. His husband was the one that gave us our rings. Like, the girls and the guys didn't even like stand up with us. They sat down just because there wasn't enough room. Like, we had Cora running around, like
yeah, during our first dance.
Yeah. And the last question is kind of along with that, but who decided on the wedding song for Walking Down the Aisle? Me, of course. Ben didn't really care about any of the wedding selections, to be honest. I told him which ones I wanted to do, and he was fine with it. So
I will say though, like, hearing that song, like, immediately emotional, and I was like, I'm really gonna cry from the get-go. Like, definitely made me tear up right away.
We did 1,000 Years, which is a pretty popular wedding song. I know it from Twilight, but I love the song. So that's what everybody else walked into. But we did the song Starving by like Haley something or other. I don't even know. Yeah. I can put it up here if I find it. But actually, I'll link the song down below just for anybody that's interested. I got an acoustic version of it that I found on YouTube. But basically, this was a song that was popular when Ben and I started dating, and it reminded me of him. And I remember specifically, like, we were at a wedding together, and I was like, this song came on the radio, and I was like, this song makes me think of you every time I hear it. And then, like, as soon as I said that, I realized that it talks about, like, loving someone, and we hadn't said that yet.
It was like pretty early on.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks into dating, I think. And I like didn't even think about that Wow. I didn't even think about that part. But when like I said that to him, and then the song kept going, and then he was like listening to the words, and I was like,
yeah, like if you hadn't alerted me to it,
he would have never. Like, yeah, so I was
like,
I was
like specifically listening to the lyrics. Like.
Yeah, so yeah, it was just like one of those awkward moments, but the song really did like remind me of him. So yeah, that was the song that I walked into, and then we walked out to as well. I was like, I'm not gonna do multiple songs, so that was that. And then, just in case you're interested, our first dance was "This I Promise You" by NSYNC. Because yes, it was. So yeah, that's our Newlywed tag video. Sorry this is so long, but I thought it would be interesting for you guys to know a couple of things from our wedding. The wedding video was up. I just put it up a couple days prior to this video going live, so you can watch that if you're interested. I will link that down below. But yeah, our wedding was amazing and perfect, and I literally wouldn't change anything, not one thing. So it's a perfect day. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these videos that we do together, let us know down below. If you guys ever have any questions, let us know so that we can do some videos about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.